that they had the belief that the team can do it. The can do spirit has not left us. Mr. President has a very good assistant with his performance in Lagos. If he could do that in Lagos, why can't he do it for the entire Nigeria? And he has arranged a team that's also ready to support him in finding sincere solutions to our problem, not just to address the symptoms. So in the Ministry of Power, beyond improving liquidity injection into the system through appropriate pricing, earlier mentioned the issue of commercial pricing, which is the cost-reflective tariff. That's what happens in most countries. But pledging subsidy is not out of place. We know that it is not the most appropriate time to start talking about removing another subsidy. But whatever subsidy is pledged must be promptly, regularly paid as liquidity injection to the sector, so as to allow this sector to function in line with the natural economic flow of generation, transmission, distribution, billing, collection of payments. Liquidity flows into the system, and every participant in the value chain gets compensated. That's the only way we can ensure sustainable and continuous flow of the sector. If you are owing Gencos, it will be difficult for them to sustain production. You also need raw materials. They need to buy gas. When there's a debt overhang, how would they pay for the gas? So the issues must be resolved all along the value chain. Every segment has its own issues. And what we have done is we have passed through the diagnosis stage. We already know what the problem is, so we should not waste time trying to beg the issues again. Our first 3 months in office was to engage stakeholders, to consult, hold retreats, and talk to almost everybody in the power sector. And we came up with, okay, these are the issues, and these are the solutions already documented comprehensively. So we have passed the stage of diagnosis. We have passed the stage of finding solutions. Now, lamentations must stop. Explanations must stop. We are at the stage of implementing and executing those solutions, which I believe in no time, Nigerians will start seeing the impact of these solutions. Briefly, let me tell you that, okay, we have problems in generation, we have some issues in transmission, and some hiccups too in distribution. What are we doing in these past few weeks? We're all aware that in generation now, we've just added the 700 megawatts from Zungeru hydropower. It's been commissioned. The concessioning has been concluded. We have handed over to the concessionaire. So in the next 1 to 2 weeks, they will start production. We already had a successful test run sometime last year. So we can produce 700 megawatts and evacuate it in addition to our power pool. That will be a major increase. We have the, thank you very much. We have the Kashimbila power plant too. There's already completed 40 megawatts. We're already evacuating 10 megawatts, which is being used around the Taraba area. But we have a surplus 30 megawatts, which we need to complete the evacuation infrastructure to ensure that this 30 megawatts is also wheeled onto the national grid. This is something that we believe will improve our power supply. And again, we have about 26 small hydro plants across the country, evacuation infrastructure to ensure that this 30 megawatts is also wheeled onto the national grid. This is something that we believe will improve our power supply. And again, we have about 26 small hydro plants across the country, which have been abandoned, completed dams. They've been abandoned for years. We are revisiting these dams now, and we believe that in a period of 12 to 18 months, all of them will be revamped, and they will add so much to our national grid. We have gone a step forward to ensure that, the problem with small dams is about water levels during the dry season. Hybridize these farms with solar PV panels so that we can manage the water levels during the dry season. During the daytime, we can actually use the solar PV to generate power. When it is in the evening and sunlight comes down, we switch to the hydro, in which case this will give us regular power supply throughout the year. And we also have the abandoned 15 solar IPPs that was started a couple of years ago. We are revisiting this to ensure that in the northern parts of the country, we're able to have small clusters of IPP solar plants to generate at the minimum 50 megawatts in each location across 15 states. That's additional 750 megawatts. And I'm telling you that even the country's NIPP plants under the control of Niger Delta Power Holding Company. About 10 of them, 7 is operating effectively. They have a capacity of almost 5,000. I can tell you that they are all operating below 15% capacity. I've visited the plants. Out of 6 turbines, 1 will be working. Out of 4 turbines, 1 was working. So what we want to do is to ensure that we reach a resolution with the gas supply companies, to ensure that we clear the debt overhang to a large extent, and we have firm gas supply contracts to these plants so that we can upgrade their capacity utilization to nothing less than 50%. That will give us nothing less than 2,500. With all this, Nigeria can generate nothing less than 8,000 megawatts of power, and that can be transmitted and distributed without adding any additional plants. In all, we have a total of almost over 13,000 main industries. That's for generation. We are also looking at the coastal cities, the possibility of wind farms along the coastal cities of Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, Edo, Delta, Rivers, Bayelsa, and Cross River. Already, we have a solar wind hybrid plant that is even completed in Katsina today that can supply us 20 megawatts of power. That's a proof of concept. It's a pilot project. And to a large extent, it's been successful. So we want to ensure that we deploy this to the coastal areas too. Then on transmission, it's general knowledge now that we just signed the accelerated agreement with Siemens on our presidential power initiatives at COP28 in Dubai. Siemens rep is here. We are going back to that project. Not just going back alone, but with full force and achieving accelerated implementation or execution of the project objectives. We're almost done with the pilots, which involved importation of 10 transformers and 10 mobile substations. Just 2-3 days ago, I commissioned 5 of these transformers. 560 MVA transformers in 5 different locations. I was in Okene, Kogi. I was in